Hello, here we are with a hands-on with a pre-production model of the Huawei Ascend P6. So some of the bits on here may change come final production model, but this is pretty close. The hardware should be there or thereabouts. It's really mainly the software that's going to change. So with that sort of caveat out the way, let's take a look at the device itself. So the standout feature is the design on this handset. It looks fantastic, and you can see from the side profile here it certainly has an iPhone look about it, which gives it an air of class and elegance over and above a lot of the plastic that you get on some other leading smartphones. It just looks, well, it looks very impressive. It looks like a high-end handset. So let's take a tour around the device. So starting on the home screen here, on the main display, it's a 4.7-inch LCD display. It's got a resolution 1280 by 720 and it has Corning Gorilla Glass 2 on here. So you can sort of attack the screen if you like, and it's going to remain fairly resilient to scratches because of that Corning Gorilla Glass. We've got the Huawei logo down here sort of into the glass. It's smooth, you can't really feel it. You've got no physical buttons on the front here, they're sort of all built into the software. Up at the top here we've obviously got the earpiece, and then we've got the front facing 5 megapixel camera here. So this is a whopping 5 megapixel camera on the front of a phone. It's going to allow you to record video in up to 720 HD resolution. It'll be great for taking self-portraits and any video calls that you might be involved with. You've got a variety of sensors built in here as well. Coming down to the base of the device, there's just a little microphone here. I'm not sure if you can actually see that, but what you will see is that we've got this sort of curved look to the actual handset itself. There's a complete sort of nice sweeping curve there. Now I'll come back to this side in just a moment. On this side of the device we've got a few sort of ports and buttons to mention. So we've got this sort of metal profile to the side. Here we've got a micro SIM card slot. We've then got a micro SD card slot, and this device supports cards up to 64 gigabytes in capacity. We've then got the volume up and down control key, which also acts as a camera button, believe it or not. We've then got the power button just here for switching the device on and off. Coming round to the top, we've got a nice sort of curved design here. We've also got this sort of little cutout slash band here. I believe that's for signal and improving reception. Right on the top of the device we've then got a micro USB port for charging and connecting to a computer. Whilst Huawei haven't really specified, this does support USB host cables. We've actually tested that. We've then got another microphone just here. Now it's a little bit of an inconvenience, I believe, having the micro USB port on the top of the device. It's just a small thing, but for actually docking it in any cradle or any car holder, you know, naturally you tend to put it in a landscape a portrait orientation, and you kind of have to either have a cable come up over to the top of the device or put it in landscape mode. Just a small thing, but it's something that personally frustrates me, but quite a few devices do have the power on the top. Coming around then to the other side, we've got this continuation of the design theme. We've got this sort of little band here. Okay, here we've got some identification information because this is a pre-production device. And then here we've got this sort of circular thing which kind of doesn't fit because we haven't got one the other side. But what it actually is with a little bit of fiddling, you can pull this out, and we've got this little tool like that, and that reveals the 3.5mm headphone jack. So it acts as a cover to the headphone jack, but also acts as a tool for ejecting the slots on the side of the device, which is kind of nice but kind of frustrating because yes, you want a tool like this, but it's small, it's round, it's easy to lose, and quite honestly you're not going to want to remove this every time you want to put your headphones in. So I think whilst this will likely come in the box inserted into the device like that, you're probably going to remove it unless you never use headphones with this device, in which case it protects the port quite nicely. So coming around to the back, Down here we've got the loudspeaker. It's really hard to pick out, just sort of here. And then we've got this metal back cover, smooth to the touch. You can see we've got a little bit of grain within that cover to make it look quite plush. And then we've got the Huawei logo sort of built into the cover there as well. You can't feel that, you glide across. You've got the silver that gives it a bit of contrast. And then right up here in the top corner we've got the rear facing 8 megapixel camera with LED flash that can record video in full 1080p. So that's the physical sort of handset itself. It's 6.18 millimeters thick, so it's very thin indeed. It's one of the thinnest, if not the thinnest smartphone available at the moment. So let's power the device on, and you can see we've got the home screens here. Now I'm not going to give you a full tour of Android. This is running Android version 4.2.2 out of the box, which I will just show you. So here we go, about phone. There you go. It's the Huawei Ascend P6, and you've got 2 gig of RAM. You've got total storage on the phone of 8 gig, of which about 4 gig is available. Screen resolution, Android version 4.2.2. You've got Huawei Emotion UI version 1.6. Sort of, you get the idea there. So what Huawei have done is with their Emotion UI has sort of changed things up a bit. You've got the sort of normal pinch on the screens here, and we can add up to 9 home screens like so, and you can customize them. You can set which one is your home screen, or you can just quickly navigate to each one. What they've sort of done away with in their version of Android on this is getting rid of sort of the applications tray. So if you're at your home screen, you now sort of flick across to your screens to access your apps. So if you're downloading an app, it will install on a screen here. They've actually pre-organized some of them here, so you've got Google Apps, Tools, Management, all of which are customizable. So if we're going to Google Apps, I can change the heading there. I can add things to it by clicking here, change things up and move them about. You've also got this main widget here, which is sort of designed to be a bit personalized to you. So if I touch on there, I can move things about, add different sort of widgets to make it more personalized. So I might have the weather, a photo, and your main 4 contacts that you call, but you can change what you have there. If we press and hold on the home screen, we've got the standard sort of thing of being able to change the wallpapers. We can add widgets. We can control the thumbnails, so that's the home screens, and we've got transitions. So just showing that we've got different effects. So we're on flip over, but if I just go with windmill, you'll see how now when I'm moving around the home screens, the transition has changed. Probably just taking a moment to register that. So it's just got different effects. So there you've got a page sort of theme going where it flips around like so. If I press and hold again, I've got wallpapers. You can personalize your lock screen and home screen wallpapers to be different. One of the sort of random things on this is shake to change. I'm not sure how important this will be to people, but I'll show you that in a moment. You've got a random change where you can select for the wallpaper to change every so often, but you can go into here and you can completely personalize it. So I can select the wallpapers that I want. So if I was to select that one, for example, so that's my lock screen one now. So if I power the device on, that's the effect I've got. Unlock it, I've got this background, but if I then shake the device, see the wallpaper has changed. You have to shake it quite hard, but there it is, there's it changing. So you've got standard sort of phone dialer. And of course this all syncs up to Google. I needn't explain that to you. You've got your contacts that will again link up to your Google account running your SIM card. You've got your standard sort of messaging application here. Nothing too special to speak about, so you can type on the portrait or landscape keyboard. You've got your running apps here, so if we press this little icon, you can move through your running apps, close them, like so. So I come through here, you've got browser, you've got quick access to the settings, which you can also get to from dragging down from the top here, and you've got all these shortcuts for the main controls you might want. You've even got more here to give you even more. You can move them about by replacing them like so, and they move about like that. When you're in the settings, you've got general or all. General is quite a nice thing. It reduces the amount of options that you've got, and then you can go in and customize a lot of the different things. So simple things like phone ringtone, you can go in and change that. I think we've got the volume down there, but choose which one applies to you. You've also got the option to change all your notification tones, be it message, email, calendar and other. That's quite nice. They can be a bit hard to find in some other devices. You've even got Dolby Digital Plus, which is for music, so it enhances the audio, and we'll come on to that in just a moment. But if we go into all, we've got all of the sort of standard settings that we'd expect to find on this device of this type. So your Wi-Fi, your Bluetooth, your ability to tether. Got all your storage options here, so we can see we've got 8 gig stored, or 8 gig of internal memory, 4.7 gig total space, of which just under 4.1 is available. We've got battery, so your usage. We've got this power manager, which is quite nice. This gives you a lot of detail about your battery percentage, how long you've got left, how you can save power. You can change the power plan. Looks a bit like Sony's stamina mode. You've got power saving options, so you can switch certain things on or off, and you can get more details on if we were to play video on this device constantly, we get 3 hours use out of the battery. Come out of that. We've got motion control. So some of these features we've seen on other headline devices, so flip to mute, so if you've got a call coming, you can just simply turn it over and that will mute the call, and so on. We've seen this in some of Samsung's promo stuff. Location, language, backup from reset. Can add your accounts. You've got a gloves mode, so if it's cold, you can use gloves and the device will work with gloves on. So that's sort of about it within the settings. We've got this themes, which is all part of the Motion UI, where you can go in and customize it. You can have different lock screens and setups. So I can choose the Halo theme here. I can flick through them like so. I can apply it. Might just take a second to do that. Under the hood here there is a 1.5 gigahertz quad-core processor, so plenty of processing power. You can now see how the sort of theme has changed. You'll also see how I've got different options on my lock screen now, all of which again can sort of be customized to your taste from within the themes here. So you can go into different ones and set them. There's also more controls in the profiles and settings, so you've got these different profiles here, so these can be configured with your personalized settings. We've even got a test one here where you can go and choose what the device does based on that profile. So you might have specific ones for work, specific ones for home, and it'll switch on or off certain features that you configure to it. Let's just touch on the camera. So it's an 8 megapixel camera on here on the rear and a 5 megapixel on the front. So you've got HD video recording on the rear camera. Playback is quite good on this, and as are the results. You can switch between the front and rear camera like so. You can control your flash settings. You've got your normal sort of camera settings from single shot. You've got HDR both on the standard camera and the video camera. You've got beauty shot, you've got panorama, you've got different effects that you can apply to give sort of a different feel to your photos. And you've got this smart mode, which essentially takes the best picture it can based on the conditions that it automatically detects. You can click further into here for more settings, so capture smiles, touch capture, GPS tag, picture size, timer, the location. You don't get quite as many settings in some respects as other devices, If you flick to then the different camera, then you can control the settings here. So on the front facing camera, we've only got single, beauty or effect. We've got different settings for this camera than we may have on the rear. Then we've got video recording, which again has similar sort of settings. We can change the quality, like so. So you kind of get the idea of the camera there. You can then get quick access into anything that you've recorded. So I've just recorded a few little bits here, playing around with some of the effects. So you can pinch and zoom. So that's all kind of fairly straightforward. And whilst we're in the gallery, we can click up here and we've got the multi-screen sharing option. So it's got DLNA on this device, so you can share it with other compatible equipment. And that goes for not only images but audio as well. Touching upon audio, we've got the music application here, and we've got this Dolby Digital Plus that we mentioned. So you've got a little icon up here in the corner. So I've got that switched off. I'll just quickly play you something. So the sound on this isn't too bad. It's quite loud, it's quite clear. But you do notice a difference by switching the Dolby on or off. It's definitely a richer tone when you've got the Dolby switched on. The wireless sharing works brilliantly. This connects straight up to my Sonos equipment that I have here, and it was, just fantastic. So do that. Now what you do also get is more effects with the sound if you connect a set of headphones. I'll just quickly show you that. So I've just got to pull out this rather fiddly little piece as I showed you earlier, and if I connect in a set of headphones now, if I go on the Dolby, I've got even more settings. So for the music, which is really nice, you don't get that just on the internal phone speaker, so you can personalize your music a little bit more to get the different sort of feel, whether you want more treble, more bass, based on the type of music that you're actually listening to. Just one thing to note whilst we're here with the headphones, I like that the headphone jack is down here at the bottom. You often sort of have your device, put it in your pocket, and you want the headphones to sort of be sort of poking out of your pocket or your bag or something, and if it's at the top it can be a bit more frustrating. Although if you haven't got a particularly wide pocket, you need to consider where the cable positions. So sometimes that's where on the top is better. You just sort of slide the device in your pocket that way instead. So standard sort of other applications that you've got on here, including clock, email, sort of management applications. Not going to go through all of them, but Huawei have got a backup, so you can back up online your most important information. You've got wireless system updates. Bitcasa is a free online storage solution. Now, as a member of the public, you can get 10 gig for free without a device, but with a P6 you can get up to 20 gig for free. You've also got CloudSync, which is essentially their backup. So you can see here we can sync contacts, messages, log, phone finder. And what we're seeing on this device is some of the popular features that we've seen on other devices into this one handset. Got access to the Play Store naturally on a device of this type. So initial impressions of this handset are quite nice. It feels good in the hand. I'm not overly convinced on the curved design at the bottom personally, and then the square at the top. I think that's a personal opinion. You may like it. I can see why they've done it, not to sort of completely copy the design of the iPhone, which has been so popular. This does lack a few of the features such as MHL out, NFC, so it's not going to necessarily be for everyone, but the price point should lead it to be quite an attractive unit. If you're looking at the likes of the Sony Xperia SP, this could be one to look at as an alternative. So it's hands-on with the Huawei Ascend P6.